Welcome back. Well, we now turn our focus to the latest release from the Namibia Statistics Agency, the 2023 Population and Housing Census Regional Profile Reports. Now, these reports, launched on the 2nd of September 2025, provide a detailed breakdown of Namibia's demographic, social and economic realities across all 14 regions, zooming into constituency level. More than just numbers, the reports are a powerful tool for evidence-based policymaking, resource allocation and inclusive development planning. Now, to help us unpack the findings and the significance, we're joined by Mr. Sakaria Ipumbu, Manager of Corporate Communications at the NSA. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Nina. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the invite.
Perhaps you could just start by explaining the purpose of this new released 2023 census for the regional profile reports and how they differ from the main national census report that was published in 2024.
Okay, very simple. You have what we call the main census report. The main census report is where you generally provide because you collect so much data, you can't put everything into one book. So you have the main report, which provides data on a national level and provides snapshots into regional and constituency data. What you then have after that is regional reports, what we call the regional profiles. So we are providing a census statistical regional profile of the region and its constituencies. So we replicate that national data onto regional and constituency level, and the idea is so that you have data at the lowest level as possible for your own planning and monitoring.
Yeah. Explain to us why that's important, having data at the lowest level possible.
It's important because, remember, you have national happening, regional happenings, constituency happenings, local happenings. What necessarily happens on one side does not necessarily happen on the other. If you just have national data to say Namibia has 3 million people, so many people have access to water, electricity, but you don't have specific data on what happens on the regional and constituency level or even local authority level, it makes your planning more difficult because you use non-aggregated data for your planning. So you want detailed information about your environment, and that is, since it's available, it should be availed. Yes.
One of the findings show that the 20 most populous constituencies account for nearly 40% of the national population. What does this uneven population distribution mean for service delivery and also when it comes to resource allocation?
Yes, service delivery, of course, is a challenge. What you literally have is you have regional dynamics and local authority dynamics.
Yeah, yeah.
Regional is where you have migration, movement of people into certain, predominantly into certain regions, like, for example, Erongo, Commerce region, regions that receive massive migration, and you have the same with local authorities, with towns. You have a situation where 10 local authorities constitute a good 70% of the urban population as compared to 30% making up the rest of the other 27 local authorities or something like that. So for service delivery, of course, it's a challenge because you have more people. More people means you need provision of more services. There's a difference between providing goods and services to 10 people than what you do to 100,000 people or even 1 million people. So it puts a lot of pressure on planning, execution of service delivery, and it just makes it so much more challenging because you're just dealing with much more people in the concentrated areas.
Mr. Ipumbu, beyond population numbers, the report highlights household composition, housing conditions, education, employment, etc. Were there any surprising or any particular concerning trends that were revealed?
Yes, trends, definitely. Let's talk of housing. You have a rise in informal settlements, shacks, where more people make use of those household structures as their homes. That's one, households. Number two, employment. You see a clear trend of rising unemployment or a higher number in terms of ratio of persons who would be eligible for employment that are not able to find employment. So you have such factors that are evident, that are clear, but then of course also household composition, where members of households are definitely becoming less. Whereas in the past you'll find a household that maybe has 7, 8, 9, 10 members to now predominantly households with much less members. So you have more households, but much less members in those
What do we
households.
attribute that to?
Very simple. You live in your parents' house, and then maybe you are 5. When you reach a certain age, you move out.
Right.
Then you go and create your own household. Now we have 2 households because Nina also has a household. So from those 2 households, we have 1 household, we have 2 households. However, the composition of Nina's household is much less. It's no longer 5 people, but maybe just 1 or 2 persons. So the figures drastically go down. After Nina, your brother might also decide, I'm also going out. So out of that 1 household, now you have 3 households, but the members per household have declined.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the NSA emphasizes that the reports are vital for, evidence-based policy making. So could you share some examples of how, census data in the past has directly influenced national or even regional policies?
Yes. Delimitation. Very good example. What you had in 2011, where figures came out that, for example, in the One Kavango region, that time you had so many people, there were such numbers of constituencies, and it was difficult to provide services to such people. Then decisions were taken to maybe redemarcate those areas with the sole purpose of being able to provide services closer to the people. That is a general one. Other ones is, of course, development planning. When you build schools, when you maybe look at infrastructure, when you allocate resources, data generally, I think we're all aware that old age pension, data had shown that grandparents used to predominantly or quite often look after grandchildren.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to improve the life or assist where there was a need, maybe there was a feeling that indeed increase the pension, because then the direct beneficiaries of that are the people that are looking after the children, for example. So there's a lot of evidence about that, building schools, roads, infrastructure, provision of services, essentially.
Yeah. Just in closing, Mr. Ipumbu, what message would you give to government institutions, researchers, etc., even the general public, on how to make use of these reports?
Yes, when you see reports, you can get overwhelmed. It's really just information, data. So it's not just government or I don't know, whoever. It's everybody that should make use of data. If you have a business and you want to provide a certain service, you can find out, okay, there's a service that I want to provide. For example, soap. You want to understand, you want to bring soap to an area. You want to see maybe how much soap, how many people are there, number one. What is the economic power? What products do they want? So you get information and use that information to make decisions. The same with, so on whatever level you are, whether it's government, private sector, whether you're a church, whether you're a school, whoever you are, you need data. And the availability of such data should assist your process of helping yourself. Like we say, it's always better to walk in light than in darkness. So data, we look at it. If you're walking in a dark tunnel and you switch on the light, then you see much better and you can coordinate how you get out of that situation. The same with data. Look at the data and say, okay, this is really what the data says. How do we deal about that? We must always understand that it does nobody any good to have wrong data. So the provision of good data, quality data, is paramount.
Yeah.
And when you have that, you can help yourselves and others to form constructive decisions for planning and monitoring.
Mr. Ipumbu, thank you so much for your time with us here this evening. We do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. All right.
That was Mr. Sakaria Ipumbu, Manager of Corporate Communications at the Namibia Statistics Agency, speaking to us about the 2023 Population and Housing Census Regional Profile Reports. And if you'd like to get more information on the reports or how you can get your hands on a copy, please do contact the NSA for that information. We'll be back